I've learned a lot of things as a business owner, but there's not been one thing that's been more important than this one thing that I'm about to share with you. This is something that I didn't realize myself until I was maybe about a year into the business. And I know a lot of new entrepreneurs or business owners are the same exact way. And maybe you don't even realize it yet. But every single activity that you do in your business can be quantified into a dollar per hour value. So whatever business you're in, you know that you have certain things that you have to do every single day, whether they're little tasks or big tasks, but they're just tasks. And in your head, you want to get them all done. And that's normal. When you're starting a new business, typically you're the person that's going to be doing all the work. You're all of the positions in the company. But what you might not realize is that certain positions have a higher dollar value than others. And it's so important to differentiate the two. And your job as a business owner is to do more of the high dollar activities and outsource the low dollar activities. Now, maybe that's not how the case is going to be right now or how it's going to be in the near future, but you should be working towards that. You should be wanting to do the money generating activities yourself, and you hire out the things that are less valuable per hour, because that's the only way you scale. And you might not even be thinking of this right now because you're just trying to get stuff done, and I understand that. But I'm gonna tell you about a story of how I wasted a year of my life because I didn't realize this one fact sooner. As a real estate investor, I cold called homeowners myself for over a year, and it took me over a year to realize that cold calling was not a high dollar task for me. And I realized that it could easily be outsourced. And ever since I hired out my cold calling, I've had time to do other things in the business that generates me even more money. So I should have been working on my business rather than in my business, doing the grunt work. And I'm not saying that you should avoid doing the grunt work or the hard stuff or the low dollar activities. I actually think that you should do those things. You should do those things for just long enough to where you can create a system and a process written down so that you can easily communicate it to the next person who's gonna take over that activity, the person you hire out. Because look, even though I did cold call for a year, I would have done something differently, but I don't necessarily regret doing that myself for a year. And here's why. After cold calling for a year myself, when I actually did hire out cold callers to take over that activity, I could easily identify who was a good cold caller and who was a bad cold caller because I had certain scripts, I had certain tonality, I could understand conversations and how they spoke to sellers, and I could easily tell, oh, this guy sucks, or this one's good, let's keep this one. And I wouldn't have been able to understand that or train them properly without actually doing it myself first. And that's actually been the case in pretty much every aspect of my business. I've always done the hard stuff first myself. So then when I hired it out, I understood how to properly train someone so that it was easy for them. I also have a lead manager now who follows up with all the homeowners so that I don't have to. But the way he follows up is how I want him to follow up, how the conversations are going. I could actually even listen to his calls and give him feedback as far as, oh no, you should have said something like this instead. And I've given him scripts and sales training, so he actually talks just like I talk, and it's kind of crazy. He's actually kind of better than me now. But my point is, do the hard work first and understand what you're doing, then hire it out. I used to cold call myself. I used to follow up with every single homeowner. I used to edit my own videos. I used to post all my content. I don't do all these things now, but the people who have taken over know exactly what I want because I've gone through that process and I understand what I like and how I want it to be performed. So there's value in doing the low dollar activities yourself just for a little bit. But as soon as you gain traction and maybe you make a little bit more money, or as soon as you identify the high dollar task versus the low dollar task, you should start thinking about outsourcing. Don't make the same mistake I did and waste a year of your life. I'm making these videos so I could fast track you on your journey as a business owner and an entrepreneur so that you don't have to make the same mistakes that I've made. But thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I make a lot of other videos about real estate, money, and self-development. And I also just document my journey as a young real estate investor and entrepreneur. But thank you so much for watching. See you at the next one.